thank you. That's very, very kind of you. I'm very, very privileged to have had the opportunity to speak at a number of universities across this country and across the world. And it's something I enjoy very much. If I wasn't a Member of Parliament, I think I would want to be an academic. So this is my opportunity, if you like, to be in an academic environment. But let me just start with my own journey. And my own journey is absolutely that of a young man born in inner city Britain in the 1970s and 80s. And growing up in Tottenham, which I think is central to the inner city experience in this country, growing up black and growing up poor was a isolating experience. It was an experience where you had to struggle quite hard to see any positive examples of black success, and certainly black male success, present in British life at that time. The experience in education was poor. The experience of discrimination and racism was present. And there were real challenges, cultural challenges developing between young black youth in places like Moss Side, in Chapeltown in Leeds, in St Paul's in Bristol, in Tottenham, in Brixton. In all of those environments, it comes to the boil in that central relationship between those youth and the police. So in examining what has gone on in this period, was keen to use the riots as the backdrop, but really to look at domestic policy in Britain, and therefore to try and frame what I felt was going on in Britain. And I think the way I chose to frame that was really to say that there have been two revolutions in the 20th century. So the first revolution is the revolution of the social liberal revolution of the 1960s. It is that social liberal revolution that can be personified really as, I think, the central, if you were going to sum the 20th century up with one word, the word I would use is freedom. It is the fight in the 20th century for whole groups of people to self-actualize and to be able to say, in that journey that's the 20th century, I can be who I want to be. That journey for women to control their own bodies, in a sense, the invention of the pill being central to that in the 1950s. Battles about abortion and choice, which you still see, sadly, in countries like Ireland, in America. That battle, alongside ethnic minorities, people like Martin Luther King, like Mandela, and also, of course, sexuality, and fundamentally working people, which births, of course, the Labour Party. That social liberal revolution being something that all progressive people would want to self-identify with, be part of, and say is fundamental to who we are in the world today. The second revolution, that liberal economic revolution, is, of course, frankly, the conclusion or judgment by the end of the 20th century that communism and socialism have more or less failed, or they certainly have not been adopted to a great extent in much of the developed world, and that Margaret Thatcher, Ronald Reagan, and to some extent continued by Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, an economic liberal model is the way forward. I'll end at that point. Thank you.